I fucked some of the opportunities up in my career by sparring some of these guys. I got in the ring with these guys beforehand, and they got to see what they was dealing with.
Shakur Stevenson gets a lot of hate from the boxing community for a myriad of reasons. For one, he's considered mad boring, and his fights being compared to NyQuil, and also the fact that he likes to talk a lot. Now, I too am one of those persons who is not that fond of Shakur. I don't think I was ever in my life excited for a Shakur Stevenson fight. But look, to each their own. If I have insomnia, I'll play that Edwin De Los Santos and Shakur fight. But one thing we can't take away from Shakur is that he is a very technical, probably one of the best technical boxers of this generation. So when he's making claims like the one we will be looking at now, you might have to pay attention to what he's saying. Let's look at the clip.
I fucked some of the opportunities up in my career by sparring some of these guys. I got in the ring with these guys beforehand, and they got to see what they was dealing with in sparring, to where it's like,
you was too hungry, just showing shit for no reason.
Bro,
that's what happened.
When I sparred Lomachenko, and he a legend to me. I don't got nothing but respect for him. But when I sparred him, I was a kid. He saw how good I was. He saw how nice I was.
Right.
Then it came a day to where everybody talking about us fighting. The fight never happened, and it's like, why didn't it happen? We could work with the same people.
Yeah.
People hitting you up saying, yo, Shakur, you getting that call.
Right.
But the problem was I sparred with you, so you remember how the sparring went. Now I'm older, bigger, stronger than what I was.
So people just be ducking these fights in real time. They're afraid of...
It's a lot of dudes in boxing that's ducking, for sure.
Now, although I'm not too fond of Shakur, what he's saying might actually be true. Fighters were definitely ducking Shakur. But fighting Shakur is kind of a coin flip. Being in a fight with Shakur, and it being a stinker, could ruin your marketability going into the future. Look at Edwin De Los Santos. Nobody wants to watch him anymore because of that fight with Shakur. Now, fighters were ducking Shakur even before that De Los Santos fight. People like Devin. He was definitely ducking because he offered the most outrageous purse split to Shakur, which was like 25 to 75 in favor of Devin. In which world does Devin deserve 75% of the money in any fight? But that was a clear ducking tactic. Also people like Tank, who claims he wanted to fight good opposition, and I actually used to believe him, but as of recent, it is clear that he ducks challenges. In terms of Loma, I wouldn't put it past him to duck someone, because he ducked Tank. So, Shakur might actually have a point. Some of these guys probably saw how good he was and decided they did not want that smoke. But let's see what people are saying about it. This commenter said he uses Loma as an example, but he didn't have a belt Loma wanted on his hunt. He would have just been another fight which didn't make sense because Loma was 33 years old and on his way out and only hunting the belts. This person replied to them saying, not to mention Loma would have schooled him too. Then this person replied to that saying, I'm honestly not sure on this. Absolutely love Loma, but a few points I think. Shakur is bigger. He started at lower weights, but it's clear his average size, while Loma could have been fighting at 130 to 126 easily, just chose to fight big guys. Shakur would have height reach on him, and I'd bet weight more on fight night. I believe Loma is much faster in combination punching, but there wouldn't be many moments created for him to do said punching. Shakur is too quick with his reflexes and defensive prowess. Sure, he gets touched, but watching his fights, he's never truly been in a war. Shakur is one of the best current fighters at distance management. Loma would struggle bad with what Shakur does with his lead hand. To me, Loma gets his head pinged a lot come deeper rounds in that. Maybe I'm a retard and Loma would get round 1 KO on him. Sucks, we'll never know, but I wish Vasily would have been able to reach even higher peaks. I miss him in the sport already. Then this commenter replied to that saying, bro, you are overthinking it. This sub doesn't analyze boxing as a people like to think. Loma fans just think he would destroy anybody in mythical fight. Plus nobody likes to watch Shakur. Most serious people already know it would at minimum be a close fight. Then this person replying to the comment of Loma schooling Shakur saying, y'all don't know that, Loma would have had trouble with Shakur defense. Lima's footwork is superior, I will admit, but that's about it. Loma in his prime was at like 126, he only moved up cause the money fights were at 130 to 135. Shakur at 130 to 135 would have been problems for Loma, but would have been a good fight. But to act like he was light years in front of Shakur is wild to me. Who exactly did he beat at 135 that warrants that type of talk? Second, his prime was before 135. This commenter also replied to the comment of Loma schooling Shakur saying, he was in a very close fight with Devin. No matter who you think won, it was close. Loma is talented, but so is Shakur. He wouldn't have schooled him. It would have been likely a very 50-50th fight. I would give Shakur the bigger edge because he does have a size advantage and I rate him higher than Haney and Teo. This commenter says, Loma versus Shakur prime for prime, Loma beats Shakur. At 135 versions of both, Shakur beats Loma. Loma at 130 was frankly unbeatable and on a remarkable run. For fighters in a row quit on him. All the fights were embarrassing for his opponents. That's crazy. Shakur is an amazing fighter in terms of defense and distance management, but in his prime Loma had better plus-minus numbers than Floyd. His defense, which combined offense itself and defensive footwork and reflex moves, was different than Shakur, but at the very least as good. And Shakur is an elite fighter in any age. At 135 versions Shakur is fresher, bigger, and as skilled. It's a close fight but Shakur nicks it with movement and nullifying Loma's offense from the back foot. Prime Loma would be too fast for that, and far healthier. Shakur's hands we'd hope would be healthy too. But Loma is retired. And we haven't seen the best of Shakur. To cap this, I don't think Loma ducked Shakur. Haney had all the belts. Just beat him in a controversial victory, and Loma wanted to run it back. Then this commenter said, I'm not necessarily denying his claim. But by the time Shakur's name was getting big he was at 130 while the others guys was making their moves at 135 and 140. And none of them didn't necessarily need to fight him. Now Tank and Ryan was the most flagrant about it, like they would legit get angry when a reporter asked about Shakur, so the sparring paw may apply to them. Then this commenter replied to that saying, Tanks is flagrant because Shakur is currently a champion in his weight class and his ducking. Ryan and Shakur have never even been in the same weight class lol. When Ryan was having his last fight at 135, Shakur was still at 130. By the time Shakur got his belt and became a big name at lightweight, Ryan was at 140, and now that Shakur is looking to move up to 140 to fight Teo, Ryan is at 147. So they are essentially calling Tank a duck. Then we have this person saying, I mean, when did Shakur think he would fight Loma? He moved up to 135 around the time Haney and Loma fought. Secondly, Loma moved up to 135 around 2018, way before Shakur had even one champion-level fighter and belt of any sort, and he was still at 126. But yes, no shit, every big-name fighter is always reluctant to fight what they know would be a tough fighter, especially when there's no big money and or titles to be gained. Why take the risk for someone else to prove they are not a prospect? It's the other way around. As a prospect, you either take a risk to speed up the process, or you bide your time and slowly earn your way. That's just how it is. Boxing is a prize fighting sporting. Then we have this person saying, fighting Shakur is a lose-lose situation, because having your name associated with a snoozefest 12-rounder will soil anyone's reputation. Everyone saw Shakur saying fuck the fans when he gets asked how he'd fight certain fighters, and no one wants to be a part of a boring-ass fight because everyone loses. Then this person replied saying, there's a pay-to-fight was not a snoozefest, he has every right to not have that said about him. He stayed in the fire against a top-pressure fighter. Then this commenter said, y'all are acting like Loma didn't take his last fight against Kambosos, when he could have fought Shakur for his belt. We'll never know how it would have played out, but let's not act like Loma didn't have an opportunity to fight him. And we'll leave it there for today, guys. So it looks like the consensus on what Shakur is saying here is split. It looks like on one hand, fans are defending Shakur saying these guys were definitely ducking, while some people are saying that Shakur just wasn't a good choice because of his style, which is considered boring. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and watch this video about Oscar de la Hoya's take on Crawford versus Floyd.